and welcome back to another video and another Saturday morning in the kitchen. Today we're making some pumpkin scones. So I've never made scones before. This particular recipe calls for pureed pumpkin, and it also recommends to blot the pumpkin. So that's what I'm doing here. Pumpkin is it's a very wet ingredient, and so to keep the scones from being too wet and not dry, you want to blot the pumpkin. So if you decide to make these scones, that is just a little tip that will be listed in the recipe, but I'm also showing you. And as always, I will have this recipe that I used linked in the description box below. Another trick according to this recipe is having extremely cold butter. That's what creates like the flaky layers that scones are well known for. So the trick is to actually freeze your butter and then grate it into the flour mixture. So that's what I did, and it took a really long time to grate it. And I wish that I would have just done larger, like the larger side of my grate. It would have taken a lot less time and been a lot easier to do. But by the end of this, my arm was just so tired from grating. So I did, by the end, before, I had about like an inch left of butter, I made sure to I just cut it up in really small pieces, which you can do that as well, and it would probably take a lot less time and be a lot easier on your arm. But I was choosing to do like the smallest grate size. I'm not sure what made me think that would be the best, but see here, I did end up flipping it, so that's good. That definitely was a lot easier. So just kind of a heads up, if you choose to do this, there are multiple ways to do it, but make sure your butter is very, very cold, frozen if possible, and grate it, but you don't have to grate it teeny tiny like I did. That was a little bit silly. So I know throughout YouTube and other, social media creative content spaces, you're going to be seeing a lot of Christmas, and that is fantastic. I am so excited for Christmas, but today I just wanted to enjoy fall for a little bit longer. We don't get long falls down here in the South in Georgia, so I'm trying to just really enjoy it as best I can, but you'll be seeing some Christmas from me pretty soon. But, pumpkin scones in fall is perfect. So what really made these scones just like extra delicious was definitely the maple glaze on top. And it's so simple. It's just butter, powdered sugar, and then some maple syrup. And it's so good. And actually at the end, I ended up adding some the kind of coarse grain raw sugar just to give it a little bit extra crunch. And it was so delicious. These pumpkin scones were a big hit with my family. I had never made pumpkins or any kind of scone prior to this, so it was a little bit intimidating. Kind of a scone was a very intimidating thing for me to make for some reason, but it actually ended up being really easy and extremely good. So I would suggest trying scones if you've never made them before. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today while I made another Saturday breakfast for my family, and I will see you again in another video. Bye guys.